Hello there, welcome to Been There, Done That, Now What? I am Terry.
And I'm Claire, and this is a podcast where we talk about the reality of living life with ADHD, addiction, and everything in between.
Or as we like to call it, the messy middle. So this week, it's been a while actually, so it's good to see you again.
Yeah,
You've been through the trenches this week.
Oh, it feels like, I'm getting there and then I'm not getting there, and I'm getting there and then I'm not getting there.
Yeah.
Reality of living life.
Living life, everything in between. But yeah, you've got out your exams now, you know, you're trouble sending it through.
I'm so nearly done. And then, trouble at the last hurdle yesterday.
Yeah. But it's not out of your hands.
Yes, exactly.
It isn't your fault, and it is happening to everybody else. So this week, thought we was going to talk about things that we thought would fix us, but absolutely didn't.
A thing where we are like outwardly seeking something anyway. So more than ever, for like normal addicts who originally are looking outside to fix, we, or should I say, am I? Should I own it? You know, that search for something to make me feel better.
Yeah, I suppose, giving up the alcohol and the drugs, we're always searching for something else, aren't we? Something else to fill that void, I suppose, or...
Yeah, the void, the famous void.
Holding the soul.
Yeah.
But for me, I buy things all the time that I think is going to help myself. I think I've sussed it now. If I, like, for instance, a standing desk, I bought one of them ones you sit on the desk and clamp, like, you pop it up.
Yeah.
So you stand there and work, and I was saying it's going to sort out because I'm sitting down all day. And now, be more productive now. I've got this. It came to the point where I had this big sort of thing on my desk, and it just stayed flat because I couldn't be bothered just to. I used it brilliantly for a couple of weeks. It was brilliant. You stand up there, some sort of stand there talking to the camera on the opposite side and that, and then it just ends up being an ornament. And I was talking about one of them things you get under, the little treadmill that you have under the desk. I haven't actually bought that. That did go, that was one thing I was going to buy, and that took me out. I could just go up and get up and go for a walk and things.
Wow, you're going to be like working from a pedalo soon.
Yeah, loads of things. I'd like to make me more, efficient in the office. I buy books all the time, self-help books, business books, all the stuff that just don't read. I've got all the good intentions, and then they just literally go on the book. I mean, I've got so many books, and I still buy them to this day. Still think, well, I will read them. I'm going to read them. I just never do, you know. Yeah,
you're preaching to the choir with books. I mean, for me, you've never been to my house, but it is ridiculous. There are books now stacked up everywhere. I could probably start making furniture out of books, and that's all good and well. And I do quite a lot of reading, but not that justifies all these. And for the same reason, so many things I look into and I go, that's the thing that's going to fix me. You know, if I learn more about this, if I learn more about, a better way of talking to myself, count to 5 and you're off out the door, all these different things, that you look into, all those kinds of stuff.
Looking at one of her books today, actually.
Oh God, let me stop.
It's a new one. What's it called? I can't remember what it's called. I took a picture of it. It's on my phone because I thought what I'll do is I'll run it through AI, and just give me what.
Give you the lowdown.
Yeah. I took a picture of a few books there. Instead of buying them, I thought I'm going to do that because I remember when I was doing one of my courses, I won a book through AI that I couldn't finish in time.
Such a good idea.
And it brought all the bullet points, all the most useful information. Saved me reading them, but this time I thought I'll just take a picture of the front of it and send it straight through.
Yeah, and that's the thing though, I think as well, with that kind of mindset, we do want it all quickly, don't we?
Yeah.
It is the quick. I don't want to read the book.
Yeah.
I want you to give me the 5 best points of the book, and it's almost kind of not giving ourselves a chance to absorb any of it properly, because it's like, no, that didn't work, and I'm not giving myself time. The search goes on, with addiction, and as you know, I've been around AA in the rooms now. It's 20 years since I came in, 2005, over 20 years.
That's when I got my daughter.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, 2005. And Chelsea won the league for the first time.
Oh, did they? Chelsea won the league. Okay, I'm glad to hear that.
Well, it's just because of her birthday. And I think it's actually Chelsea winning the league that reminds me of her.
Okay.
That was such a big deal at the time. Obviously her birthday was as well. But, yeah.
Wow, what a year though, really.
Yeah, it was a brilliant year. Seeing Chelsea win the league for the first time. I had my first daughter.
Absolutely.
Probably only daughter. But yeah, that Mel Robbins, that 5 second rule, it's funny actually, because I do actually read some books.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't read it actually. I listened to an audio.
Right, yeah.
And it is quite good.
Yeah, she's got some free ones on Audible as well, hasn't she?
Yeah, I think she's got some podcast things on there. But that again, that's another thing. I thought, yeah, that sorted out, that 5 second rule. But that again, it's like 3 weeks and then you just forget about it.
Yeah.
But it's quite a good one. You just do your count for 5 seconds and you go then now.
But it's like anything, it is like the practice of it, because nothing, you have to keep working at it for it to embed itself in, don't you? If it's not coming to us normally, we've got like our neural pathways, haven't we? How we think is a structured way, that we've been doing for ages. So to change that, actually, it does take a lot of work and practice. And when you haven't got that focus, even when it's difficult, like say today, setting up the podcast with you today, it was really difficult. We keep kind of like, there's new challenges, isn't there? Now, naturally for my brain, I don't know if you relate to this, but like when things get difficult, I often lose interest. Not because I'm not prepared to do hard work, because I do feel like I'm quite a hard worker. But it's
grip you.
Something's got to have me. And the minute I start, it teeters on the self-esteem. That's where I really lose it. If it is suddenly, it's like, well, you can't. Of course you can't, because you're rubbish, or all you're ever going to be is an addict. Why are you trying to pretend to be anything else? Those kind of negative thoughts. It's game over. It kind of makes it extra hard. I'm looking for something new, can't sustain the something.
So what other things you tried finding that's going to fix you?
Feed-wise, there's been quite a few. I do feel like I'm a big one for looking for ways, looking for methods, looking for the latest new thing. What I've found, and I've tried, like yourself, different foods. Is it because I'm different vitamins? Is it because I'm different, getting enough water, not getting enough sleep? I haven't learnt enough. I need to do more therapy. I need to do more, I need acupuncture. I need a better face cream. It can be literally anything, except for what I'm realising is, annoyingly, it's the spiritual aspect. If I don't address this properly, I'm always going to be running around looking for the thing outside. And it's a big one, because even in recovery, isn't it? We come in and it is based around, it's a spiritual principle. It's not religion, it's a spiritual principle. You come in, the reason it works is you put your faith in something higher, than yourself, and stop looking for all the little bits and fixing self. That's a big one. I'm trying to fix the outside, especially. When I fail at that, I feel particularly horrible. I don't know if all of that garble makes sense.
Yeah. Again, like when you start, me at the moment, you're talking about the spiritual aspect of AA. To be honest, I've really been doing a lot to do with AA at the moment.
Yeah.
And I'm all right with that, because I've got what I'm doing. Again, I'm trying to sort myself out, but I throw myself all in to my new training regime and food and all that, which is working at the moment. I'm feeling great.
Yeah.
And I haven't really been missing doing all the spiritual stuff, because I'm all in on something, I'm all out on something else.
Yeah.
I'm all in on this training that. Again, this is going to sort me out forever now.
Yeah.
This is that thing in my head. Doing all this is going to sort me out forever. Trimming up, getting fit. But at the same time, I'm not doing the spiritual program. Again, to be honest, that's really not sort of bothering me so much. My business is sliding because I ain't in that as much, which isn't good, because obviously that pays my mortgage, the rest of it. So when I'm finding something to fix me, something else breaks the other side. And I know what you was just saying about, if it doesn't grip you, then it's easy to put aside.
Yeah, and it is that thing, isn't it? We get so hyper focused on things, and I can do that as well, like with fitness, feeling good, losing weight. There's something very mainline about it because I feel better about the outside of myself, and I'm keeping myself so busy and like, oh yeah, this is successful because I'm losing weight, so I'm feeling good. And it's not until other stuff goes or the routine goes or something happens in life that kind of starts then bringing me back to what I'm kind of running from in that. And this might not be the same for you, but for me, when I'm really in the focus and I'm really on the wave of something like that, it's usually like it feels good because for a little while it is a temporary relief from myself. It's like I'm in addiction without the consequences again. It's like that focus on one thing. Other things start to slide in my life, and I'm like kind of like, oh, what's all that? I can get away with that until I'm kind of not. And this is the thing that keeps going around and around for me, and kind of why I'm thinking this is what I need to work on properly now is this spiritual aspect, because I don't have a problem with God. I don't have a problem with a spiritual aspect for me. I don't quite know how I define it. I don't know. If you ask me to describe God, I don't know how, but just a force for good in the universe. He's probably not the big beardy man, but it is that thing. I need something now that's going to hold me through the next bit, because I'm this age as well now, and I think you see through that stuff. It's like watching fashions going around now for like the third time and stuff, and it's like, oh, I know those skinny jeans aren't going to make me feel better at any age, and it all this that it's anything. It's something now, something bigger that gives it all a kind of purpose.
So you're thinking now that it's going to fix you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it looks like.
No, that's good. Like again, this is all about what's going to fix us, but hasn't fixed us. So that will fix us. It's helped fix you so far to now.
Yeah, it's the only thing I think when I have been the closest to
fulfillment.
Yes, and like being spiritual and feeling very close
that's
to whatever that is.
Someone's subject.
That's all right. I don't even know. But it's not until I'm sort of cutting this afterwards, and I go, God, we're constantly. And I'm like, let the man speak. Oh, I know what you're going to say. And it stopped me drinking, and a couple of times I really know, or more than a couple of times in life, having some sort of spiritual belief and feeling something gave things meaning, saved me, definitely. When I say that AA has saved my life before, it is as a result of getting back in contact with some sort of meaning, some sort of spirituality. And interestingly, a book that has followed me through for years and years and years, and actually I mentioned it, I text my old therapist on May 4th, because we always have this thing about, and it's from The Hero with 1,000, Joseph Campbell, the monomyth. So it's about how you kind of have to structure all the good hero stories in life. He did this massive study on it, and he really great. It was like back in the 50s, I think this book came out. It was about how you have to achieve certain things, to be the hero and to overcome. And like, so things like, Star Wars and all that are allegedly all based around these stories, as are a lot of the Greek myths and things. So it is then applying it in like a psychotherapeutic way. Like, what do I have to overcome in life to be the hero in my own story? To kind of come out on top. And I thought like fighting addiction, coming through addiction would be that thing. That was the dragon that I had to slay to be the hero in my own story, to come out to be okay then. I'm victorious. I've got the sword, I've got the head of the addiction, look, and dealing now with that. It isn't that. It's a huge part, but addiction just is my answer. Is my brain's answer to life. And it pops up like ADHD, like whack-a-mole, with eating, with buying books, with buying anything, with buying makeup, with dating, searching for the elusive Mr. Wonderful who's coming in, to be like, oh my God, here he is, on the white charger. It's the continuation of like, oh gosh, it hasn't fixed me. Yeah, so even the quest, the hero's journey. Yeah, so the hero's journey. So even having to accept that it's not quite, again, the fairy tale. I haven't just got to overcome the one thing. It's learning to continually overcome that in small ways to keep the battle isn't the one big battle. It is, and now, whenever addiction pops its head up in all these different ways during my day, how I'm going to choose to take it on rather than indulge it. And for me, I feel like some of this stuff at the moment where I'm like struggling with self-worth again is because there's a misalignment now in that authenticity. I am buying the stuff. I am looking for the quick fix. I'm not doing what's required of me now in my addiction journey, in my truth journey, you know, in my hero's journey. I'm not being a hero now.
Yeah, so you're not doing enough, you feel, whereas I don't want to do anymore.
Okay, that's it.
I feel that I've done enough. You know, I've been doing that 3.5 years. And I know I'm busy doing other stuff and things take a side step back. But I'm just like, I don't know if I can stay in the rooms for the whole entire, you know what I mean? It's the whole entire life. I'm just like, no, you know, because when I go into something, I go all in. And I went all in for 3 years, or 3.5 years. And now I'm like, all right, what's next?
Yes.
Because I do get, you know, I'm still searching for something else to fix me.
Of course.
Even though I'm feeling at the moment in a good place, which I know ain't going to last, it never does, you know what I mean? I do come crashing back down, and then I start again looking for something else to fix me. Be it, you know, relationship, because I'm in a decent relationship. But I do try to find something else at the moment, because this training I'm doing, I've got to go, and it's till June. Then what, you know what I mean? Because every time I get and hit my goals or do what I think's enough, I am then thinking, otherwise I'll just go backwards again. So it'd be going back to eating shit, doing this, doing that.
Yeah, I get it.
I've always been one of them ones that can, if I've set myself a goal or a target or something that, you know, like I feel like I've done all I can in AA, you know, even setting up the ADHD meeting, you know, it's like, I'm not bored with it, I'm just like, now what, you know what I mean? Been there, done that, now what, you know what I mean? So now I've moved on to this, and I'm doing this, and it's keeping me well, but then I know that once I get to the end of saying, I am then lost again, because I haven't got that same driver or driver.
Yeah, the plug-in almost, like something plugs in, but for me it's like a mindset shift. I've done not as intense and not as focused as you, but I've certainly had those long periods in my life where I've really focused on fitness, what I'm eating, losing weight. That's the driver for me. It's not about fitness. Exactly. That's how I do like the accordion thing, you know, I'll swing out by 3 or 4 stone at a time and sometimes more, you know. It's the battle. This is where it pops its head up. And I feel like to now move to a place that feels better, I've got to dig deeper. All this surface stuff now, you know, like been there, done that, now what? It just offers another little gap, another little moment of something. And the minute I'm kind of back with me, the shine wears off, it's enough, you know, it hasn't offered a significant psychic change, you know, and they talk about that, don't they, in AA, like one of the fundamentals in the book is that this spiritual program offers you a psychic change, a different way of being. And I feel that I have...
And that it does.
Yeah, it
does.
And
I've seen, you know, I mean, it's changing me, you know, the way I behave, behaviours have changed.
Yeah.
And you see, I mean, I know there's people that have got to be in AA all the time, you know what I mean? And I just felt, at the moment, I mean, I done a chair the other night, Tuesday night, I done a chair, and that's the first time I've sort of been in AA for a while, apart from the ADHD. And it was all right, you know, I told my truth where I'm at the moment, how I'm feeling with AA and all that. Could share back to that, but I didn't leave there thinking, I've got to get back in the rooms and do a bit more. You know, I walked away thinking, yeah, I'm still feeling the same. And I talk to people, and I know they got my interest there, you know, but it's hearing the same stuff being repeated by the same people. If you don't do this and you go back, you know what I mean, all that sort of stuff. I'm alright. I mean, I'm alright. Obviously, I came in differently, sober outside before I came in. And I know people, some people think I'm brainwashed, which is what they needed doing to get out of where they are. And when I hear that coming through, I can sort of see it, and it's quite sort of annoying at the same time. I love it, and I love the people in it.
And I think it's important to accept, though, isn't it, the different parts and the different timings and the different things we experience. Because if you don't talk about that, other people automatically think they're doing something wrong. And when you only share the good stuff in AA, that causes people to feel like, well, hang on, I don't feel good in my life every day. Am I doing something wrong? And I think as humans, you know, we're going to be doing it right and doing it wrong, and doing it right and doing it wrong. And like kind of naughty puppies, we have to kind of like, oh, that hurts again. Why does it hurt again? Because guess what? You're looking over there again. And this, you know, looking for the same kind of fella again, looking for the same kind of, you know, how I want to look again. And all these sorts of things that it's not doing it. Whatever it is, the hole in the soul.
Well, years ago, right, talking of things that to try and fix, you know, if I do this, it's going to fix me for that. I mean, I used to just stop myself going down the pub. This is when I used to be with my kid's mother and that. I used to buy every new PlayStation or what's the other one? Computer console one.
Nintendo, wasn't it? Years
ago. Nintendo 64. I used to love them. Man, that's about as much as I played that in Sonic Mega Drive. But when they came out to the Sony PlayStation and there was the other one, the Xbox, I'd buy all these new consoles to stop me going down the pub. But they wouldn't stop me going down the pub. I'd buy all the games and that because that's the new toy and it's all like, oh, spend loads of money on it. And then it'd just be like shoved in the corner, and I still go down the pub. And I'm learning now, like, you know, I don't, because obviously I don't drink, I don't really go down there, I don't drink, I've drunk for 7 years. So, you know, I don't buy things down to stop me going to the pub. I kind of feel that I have fixed that. But again, how I've fixed that is really, you know, I've used AA where I've needed it. AA has given me a life.
Yeah.
You know, a life without alcohol, because in the 4 years that was sober without AA, I didn't really know what to do with myself. I didn't know how to be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now I do, because, you know, I've met a lot of people in there, because all my mates used to drink, so I didn't know anybody.
Yeah, it's like learning to be an adult in a different way, isn't it?
You know, I've got a lot out, and I ain't turning my back on it instead, is it? It's always, you know what I mean? But again, it's saying that I have used and it has fixed a certain part of me. You know, I'm not happy just sort of plugging all my life into being in the rooms 24/7, because I just can't do that. You know what I mean? I'm not, you know, that's not what I need. I need, you know, I've got some great friends from it who I love dearly. Yeah. You know, and I'll always stay in contact. I'm already talking like that, you know.
I know, it's interesting to hear you.
Yeah.
It is, because you do give so much in AA, and a lot of it is very practical. Like I've joked with you before, you know, there's been times I feel like everywhere I've got the new secretary, you know, you've given a lot of your time and given,
and
you know, the practical way.
I feel that I've done, you know, I mean, I can't remember. I was talking to somebody, a friend the other day, and I was telling her to get in there because, you know, she's feeling lonely, this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
She's not in AA, she's stopped drinking, has done for the last couple of years. And I did say to her, I said, why don't you try AA? I said, that's what I did, because I was out there on my own, I didn't know, and that is why I went to AA. And now I've really got what I wanted from it, which I have, like the friend, and now I know how to do life without alcohol. So friends that don't drink alcohol, you know what I mean? I can go out and do these days out with everyone, I go for the meals and all that sort of stuff, you know what I mean? And
yeah, I do. And interesting, in the book it does say it's a bridge to normal living.
Exactly. You know
and
what I mean?
We do want to live normally, and it isn't about all the time, you know, when I was out of AA for a long time, people used to say anything to me about it, and I used to say, oh, well, I didn't want to swap one addiction for the other. And now I know that wasn't true for me, you know. It was because it kind of stopped feeding me in lots of ways. But I have to admit then that kind of like where I am now, I'm not putting very much in to AA. And so I'm not getting very much out, you know. I'm not calling people, I'm not contacting, I'm not staying in connection. And I know this place quite well because I've done this little wave many times before. What I don't want to do now is follow the wave off at the beach only to disappear. You know, I know for me that even at the times I'm just kind of holding on, it's a lifeline in what can become quite a lonely place of my own choosing. One of my ways to cope is to isolate, and in the isolation, I'm nuts, you know, leave me with my own thoughts and feelings for a little while. I mean, this is just, it becomes my own reality. I'm trusting my own thoughts. And my thoughts can be then things like what other people think of me and what judgments are being held. And all of this stuff I'm making up my own reality. And the further I get, you know, so I know for me and my nut nuts, my particular brand of alky nut nuts, is to, even when I'm out, not to be completely out, you know, even just to touch base, even if it's just a meeting a week for a little while, and that's really all I'm kind of doing, holding on. I know from experience without it, my world gets a lot smaller and a lot rougher without that kind of buffer, you know. I need it. My whole...
That's what is good about it. There's a network there.
Yes.
I mean, network of some good people, you know. I mean,
really good.
Again, another thing that's really sort of struck a chord with me is I've noticed that not everyone's that well in AA.
No.
And they pretend to be well. And I can't sit with people that are two-faced, you know what I mean? It's not in me.
Yeah.
And when I hear things about people and see how they behave in the rooms, I'm just like, yeah, I can't ignore that sort of stuff for me, because I'm not that way, you know what I mean? I'm straight down the line, and you know, you are
what you see is what you get. Yeah, exactly.
When I sort of see somebody behaving a certain way, then I think, oh, then you hear something over there, and you think, you're not really doing what you're meant to be doing. Yeah. That's another thing I'm just thinking, you know what I mean? And it just edges me out. And someone said to me the other day, you're just trying to find excuses. Yeah. But I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to.
It's the judgment.
That is my reality. Yeah. That's where I stand with it.
I hear you. But it is judgment. It's not being able to. Once we start doing that kind of judging, we don't know what anyone else is up to. We don't know where they are in their addiction, what their choices are. And I feel like the minute I start judging in AA is the moment I start elevating myself. It's kind of that addiction thinking, like, I'm not the same. And actually, I kind of am the same as everyone in there. You know, loads of people could look at me and go, what is she doing? You know, she's bouncing all over the place, and you know, and it's...
Yeah, I'm not so much judging,
it's not judgy,
it's just, I'm just seeing...
observation.
Who ain't who they say they are.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I'm just like, I don't really want to mix with people like that, you know. I like real people that are what they are, you know what I mean? That say and do as they are. I mean, what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't, so that's exactly my type of people. You know, it ain't everyone. I mean, there's so many people in there that are brilliant and lovely and good. But I think maybe I am looking for an excuse, but there's just a few people in that sort of, I mean, it's quite a small world, really.
It is.
In where we go, you know, I don't know. I don't really know.
Yeah, I definitely go through the phases though. But I often find though that is what's happening through the board, you know, when I'm kind of getting a little bit like that in AA, it's often, and this isn't me telling you how you should feel, but for me, it's often about what's going on in my mind, you know, what's causing me to be looking at what that one and that one are doing. This is for me personally. And have a little look about what you're doing, or what are you doing about that? You know, if you've been around a long time now, Claire, you know, in many ways, I'm an old timer, you know, in AA. And if it isn't my responsibility to pull someone up with kindness and love and say, hey, I noticed that you're doing this, like, are you okay? The minute I start doing that thing, and I'm not giving what I would like given to me, which is kind of like be viewed with love and be viewed like we all...
Yeah. Well, for me, all I do is just remove myself from it. I'm white. I think sometimes there's too much pressure on to be doing it all white. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
And, you know, like I say, I can't remember. I mean, the Serenity Prayer, I still do. Yeah. But I don't do any of the other stuff. Because even when I was in there, you know, none of the great list and all that, I don't do any of that, do any of it. Because when I was doing it solidly for 3 weeks. I'm like, oh, this is all right, this is all right. And then I'd fall off track doing it, and then I'm beating myself up because I ain't doing it, and I'm in the groups of, so now I'm just like, do you know what, I lived before and I'll live after, you know what I mean? So I'm at that stage where I'm just like, you know, I'm all right.
So you're like half out?
But
does it mean you're actually thinking about leaving?
No, because I still will, you know, I will still turn up as and when, you know what I mean? I haven't been to my Friday meeting. You know, I went there at 9th of April to pick up my chip.
Right, okay.
So I ain't been back there since, again, I was there. So, I don't know, it's just after trying to think, you know what, I just don't need to. I don't really know.
Yeah.
Just in a good place at the moment.
I think it's so important to be honest about that because, again, it's a human thing. We're
sometimes,
addicts,
like
humans.
when I was doing the chair the other night, when I was asked to do it, I was like, I felt a bit of a fraud sitting in there.
Aye.
Because I'm sitting there feeling like this.
You've had that anyway, though, haven't you? You've told me, and you've described, like here on the podcast before, having that feeling like, do I belong? Do I belong? Do I belong? Yeah, because I still now think, am I? You know what I mean? I know I drank, but because of my ADHD and, you know, we was talking about books that fix us, I've listened to and I've read quite a bit on ADHD now. Ask me something about it, I can't think of it, you know what I mean? But I know. Yeah, that's the thing, brain wipe.
And I'm just sitting there thinking, you know, I drank like that because I drink like that. That's just how I drink. Okay. It's not the right way to drink. But again, I eat chocolate the same way. I eat a bag of hobnobs the same way I would 10 pints. I'll go all in on the gym obsession. Yeah. The same way I would be if I was drinking. But it's not gym. I'm an addict in that way, but I'm not really, I don't think I'm an addict. I'm addictive because that's what it is. I'm trying to chase the dopamine and getting on it. I don't know what I'm trying to say. But it's back there in the weighing it all up. And because I just feel like, you know, I just don't know, you know what I mean? You've got to work it out, and it's really important because I know for myself, having not worked it out before and leaving was because I had the question mark saying, was it just because I was having a really tough time when I was younger? Was it just because, you know, the situation I was in? And I feel like I had to have that another go, even though, you know, it nearly took me out again. And it took me almost 6 years of binge drinking to get back. I had to have that, like, Claire, you cannot drink, you know. And I think that is the difference as well. For me, I'm not just in the pub being friendly. I'm not being friendly at all. That's not the way I drink. You know, it's a mess. People get hurt, I get hurt, and there's just no denying it for me. But I had to have that other go, unfortunately. I wish I didn't, because it caused me a lot of pain, my daughter a lot of pain, you know, mum, sister. But I did have to have that other go. I suppose I'm thinking, I hope you don't too. Yeah, no, I don't think I will, you know what I mean? But again, I don't know really, because I also feel bad talking like this as well, because, you know. You're not alone. Many people do get to this point. And like I say, I had to have that proven to me the hard way. It would be really good if you can work through this stuff, get your answer without having to what do they call it, more research. But this is it. I'm not looking for drink to fix me. I am still looking for stuff to fix me. You know, I haven't done even my therapy. I was doing therapy. I've given up therapy since, I think, January this year. And I was doing that as long as I was sober. And I'm all right with that as well. Okay, so something about this getting fit is making you feel like the other stuff I think this is my fix at the moment anyway. And I'm still there for helping people. You are, yeah. I know AA is great and it helps people, and I still will tell people to go there, you know. Absolutely. Because I've seen what it does to people, you know what I mean? It does exactly what it says on the tin, you know what I mean? It really does help people. And like I say, it has helped me. Yeah, there's no denying it, you know. I know how to deal with life because that has the steps did take me through that, you know, made me grow up a bit. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Adulthood. Fucking 45 years old. God, I'm still aiming for that. But it is. It's even though I accept it saved my life, you know, and it's changed the trajectory for me, there is still that thing, you know, where I do lose, you know, gratitude with it and stuff. And it's very, you know, I go, I'm too busy. It's because I'm doing my master's. I'm so busy, I can't, you know.
or I've got nothing to offer anyone. I can't help anyone, and it's like I'm picking that thinking again all the time. I don't know.
So we went a bit deep there.
We went deep.
We have gone a bit deep. This is what it's all about. Really.
It's the truth of it, though, isn't it? You know, if it was easy, if recovery was easy, you know, more people would be in it and less people would be dying, which is a fact, isn't it? You know, addiction is a killer illness.
Yeah, 100%. But this wasn't meant to go as deep, but we have gone deep, and it's good because that's what this podcast is all about.
Yeah.
We start talking, and wherever it ends up, it ain't structured.
No.
Not yet, anyway. We're going to try one day.
And that's what we've got to give, isn't it? You know, our experience, what has and hasn't, stumbles along the way.
What's going on and what's happening in the world of our ADHD brains and that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for watching. I was meant to say during, at the very beginning, like and subscribe, tell all your friends, share it everywhere, all the multimedia, what's it called? Social media.
Social media.
Share it wide and
like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Always good to talk to.
And you, my love, it's good to be back. Yeah. Even though you probably haven't seen that we've been away, but we have.